This is Mac OS Ken.
A more expensive link in the supply chain. Apple gets knocked from the top spot briefly, and the Cupertino company says farewell to iPod. It is Wednesday, the 11th of May, 2022. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Trade Coffee. Get $30 off your first order plus free shipping at drinktrade.com/MacOSKen. This show is also sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. A friend asked me recently how it was going. My response: with a raging pandemic, global economic uncertainty, and war in Europe as our baseline, things are great. I thought it was funny. But seriously, stuff like that gets to me. We just carry things like that around with us, often without realizing that we're being affected by it. That's why I have gone back to BetterHelp. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, whichever way is most comfortable for you. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. I'm glad to be back with BetterHelp. I'm glad to have them as a sponsor, and I'm glad to remind you about the special offer they have for you. Right now, Mac OS Ken listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/MacOSKen. That's BETTERHELP, betterhelp.com/MacOSKen. If you need help, BetterHelp is out there. betterhelp.com/MacOSKen. Interesting news around TSMC in a piece from the Japanese business site Nikkei yesterday. They've got a few sources saying that Apple's processor partner and the world's largest contract chip manufacturer plans a modest rate increase in early 2023. 6 unnamed sources have the firm saying it'll raise rates by single-digit percentages for both mature and advanced chip production technologies. Additionally, Nikkei has 2 unnamed sources saying the price increases will be about 5% to 8% for different process technologies, from cutting-edge to legacy nodes. Assuming the report is correct, this is happening at a strange time. While 5% to 8% doesn't sound like a tremendous amount, it comes on the heels of last year's 20% price increases. The piece points out it also comes at a time when demand for smartphones and personal computers has slowed on market uncertainty sparked by inflation, the Ukraine war, and COVID-related lockdowns in China. In other words, outside of TSMC, this might not look like the best time. The piece has one exec who's heard word of the rising prices, saying that given the slowing demand for products like smartphones and PCs, it might be difficult for clients to fully accept TSMC's planned price hike. For the advanced chips, it might work, but for matured nodes, could be quite challenging for customers to accept, the person said. Okay, but there's a shortage. Where are they going to go? Also, inside TSMC, they might try to pitch it as short-term pain for long-term gain. Nikkei says secret insiders tell it that TSMC cites looming inflation concerns, rising costs, and its own massive expansion plans to help alleviate a global supply crunch as reasons for raising prices. That last one is no joke. The piece says TSMC is spending $100 billion through 2023 to increase capacity, with $40 billion to $44 billion earmarked for this year alone. A piece from iMore on the planned price hikes addresses what it might mean for Apple. It's a valid question since TSMC makes the A-series chips that power iPhone and some iPads, as well as the M-series processors that power most Macs and the rest of the iPads. On the anticipated higher processor costs, iMore says increasing prices for components across Apple's lineup could be bad news for consumers, with Apple likely facing a choice to either increase prices to offset such costs or absorb the losses in an already uncertain market. One could easily see Apple doing either. It will be worth watching. To me, the question is not how many angels can dance on the head of a pin, but what kind of dance would they do? The Charleston? The Foxtrot? Lambada? Nah, probably not. That's the forbidden dance. A piece from Cult of Mac says, for a period of time on Tuesday, Apple was not the most valuable company on the planet. For a brief period, says the piece, the Saudi Aramco oil giant took over from Apple as the world's most valuable company. Didn't stick. Apple saw a surge that sent shares up $2.45. That said, Apple has lost over 14% of its value in 2022, according to the Cult, while Aramco gained about 28%. Quoting the report, which company is the world's largest by market capitalization shows where people are putting their priorities. During COVID-19 lockdowns, computers became critical to almost everyone, and tech stocks surged, but with most countries opening up again, oil is having a resurgence. There is something I hate about that passage. I think it's the implication that people are choosing. I mean, they kind of do. When gas prices are low, lots of people go big American car with tail fins, which is to say something in an F-150. I remember a president a few presidents ago encouraging people to buy economy because gas wouldn't always stay as low as it was right then. Yeah, but what did he know? Barring decisions people made 5 years ago or more, it's not so much about choice right now. The world is going back to work, which means people have to drive to work. People didn't choose for Russia to invade Ukraine. People aren't saying, I'd rather have 2 tanks of gas than a pair of AirPods. Rather, they're saying, if I want to be able to afford anything, I have to be able to get to work. Maybe those angels would do the jitterbug. Consumer priorities, price gouging. Whatever the reason, for a short period of time on Tuesday, Apple was not the world's most valuable company. Apple's got one less court case with which to deal. Bloomberg Law says a federal court in California has tossed a proposed class action lawsuit against the company. According to the report, plaintiffs alleged Apple deceives consumers into thinking they can maintain their data storage for free, but in reality, they quickly exceed the free 5 gigabyte limit and then must pay for an increasingly costly service. Bloomberg Law had the court indicating that customers failed to adequately explain how the company's recurring charge notification was deficient or how they were fooled. It's the little things, isn't it? Plaintiffs may amend their complaint according to the report. Barring that, this case is donezo. More news in a moment, but first a word from Trade Coffee. When it comes to coffee, I am not as big a nerd as I could be. No French press, no Chemex. I have a regular drip coffee maker that makes a great cup of coffee as long as I have great coffee. That is where Trade Coffee comes in. You answer some questions when you get started. Light or dark coffee? What do you use to make it? Do you grind it yourself or buy it ground? Then they start sending you coffee from craft roasters across the country. Small businesses that pay farmers fair prices to sustainably source great coffee beans from around the world. Every coffee they've sent me has been great. I love it. I think you'll love it. They think you'll love it. But if you're not happy with your first bag, they will listen to what you didn't like, then put you to work with one of their coffee experts to get you a better bag at no additional cost. If the coffee in your cup matters, try Trade Coffee. Right now, Trade is offering new subscribers a total of $30 off your first order plus free shipping when you go to drinktrade.com/macOSKen. That is more than 40 cups of coffee for free. Get started by taking their quiz at drinktrade.com/macOSKen and let Trade find you a coffee you'll love. That's drinktrade.com/macOSKen for $30 off. The new look is adding a new star. Variety says Game of Thrones alum Maisie Williams is joining the Apple TV Plus series. Quick reminder, Variety says the new look is set against the World War II Nazi occupation of Paris, when Coco Chanel's reign as the world's most famous fashion designer ends and Christian Dior rises, helping return spirit and life to the world through his groundbreaking, iconic brand. Juliette Binoche will play Coco Chanel. Ben Mendelsohn will play Christian Dior. As for Williams, the piece says she will play Catherine Dior, Christian's younger sister and Medal of Honor winner for courage in the cause of freedom. No word on when the series will premiere. There's another kids show headed to Apple TV Plus, and the Cupertino streamer has released a trailer for it. The company issued a press release Tuesday promoting the live-action animated hybrid series Lovely Little Farm. From the people who brought you the shows Topsy and Tim and Teletubbies, Apple says Lovely Little Farm follows sisters Jill and Jackie as they love and nurture all the animals on their farm nestled in lavender fields. Being a young farmer isn't easy, but every day brings these sisters adventure and a chance to grow. The force may be strong with this one, or the technology behind it anyway. Industrial Light and Magic is handling the animation side of the show. Viewers can visit Lovely Little Farm beginning Friday, the 10th of June. Between now and then, you can catch the trailer on YouTube. There's an update out for most of the AirPods. That is AirPods 2, AirPods Pro, and AirPods Max. A piece from 9 to 5 Mac says the most up-to-date firmware is 4E71. I think I just sank my own battleship. Why the update? 'Tis not for mere mortals to know. Unfortunately, the piece says Apple does not provide release notes for AirPods firmware updates. Instead, users have to wait for the update to hit their AirPods, then poke around to find out if anything has changed. How do you force the update? You cannot. The piece says new firmware versions will install when the AirPods are connected via Bluetooth to your iPhone. If you want to know whether you've got the new firmware, why? Anyway, here's how to find out. 9 to 5 Mac says open the Settings app on your iPhone, navigate to the Bluetooth menu, find your AirPods in the list of devices, tap the I next to them, look at the firmware version number, then celebrate or despair. Whichever. And finally today, you could make the case that the iPod died years ago. That replacing the dedicated media device with an iPhone minus the phone part marked the passing of what iPod was or had been. But now it's official. In an uncharacteristic move, Apple on Tuesday issued a press release announcing the end of the iPod product line. What killed iPod was Apple. Quoting Tuesday's press release, since its introduction over 20 years ago, iPod has captivated users all over the world who love the ability to take their music with them on the go. Today, the experience of taking one's music library out into the world has been integrated across Apple's product line, from iPhone and Apple Watch to iPad and Mac, along with access to over 90 million songs and over 30,000 playlists available via Apple Music. Quoted in the press release, Apple Senior VP of Worldwide Marketing Greg Joswick, who said, "Music has always been part of our core at Apple, and bringing it to hundreds of millions of users in the way iPod did impacted more than just the music industry. It also redefined how music is discovered, listened to, and shared. Today, the spirit of iPod lives on," Joss continued. We've integrated an incredible music experience across all of our products, from the iPhone to the Apple Watch to HomePod Mini, and across Mac, iPad, and Apple TV. And Apple Music delivers industry-leading sound quality with support for spatial audio. There is no better way to enjoy, discover, and experience music. I had a wonderfully romantic evening once that started with me and a lovely woman sharing a single pair of earbuds as we switched back and forth between her iPod and my iPod, playing the music we had each brought, getting to know new music. iPod hasn't been iPod for a while, and yet there is something sad about seeing it officially done in. If you want the last one, get there before they're gone. Apple says customers can purchase iPod Touch through Apple.com, Apple Store locations, and Apple-authorized resellers while supplies last. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Trade Coffee. Get $30 off your first order plus free shipping at drinktrade.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.